Nervous, but fuck it, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Ryan. Some people call me Dex. Most people just call me Ryan. I don't exactly know what my goal with making this video is. I'm just starting to learn that I want to communicate my thoughts on the state of the world, my own personal emotional state, and how I think I myself, and maybe even possibly you, can help yourself grow moving forward. It's kind of just going to be one of those spitball things, not expecting anything from it. I'm constantly trying to improve, and I think the best way to do that is just to keep it real. So to start, I'm 23. I live with my grandparents, whose healths are not getting any better by the day. Most of my immediate family lives in Florida, about 1,300 miles away from where I live in New Jersey. So like my little brother, I see him maybe once a year. And that's pretty heavy stuff, but let me keep going. I work 2 jobs. Both of them are 8 hours a day. So technically, I'm currently at one right now, but we won't talk about that. Anyways, though, the goal, I guess, for myself in the next year is to break the loop today so it doesn't repeat again tomorrow, right? They say the definition of insanity is repeating the same thing over and over and over again, expecting some sort of different fucking result, right? So I'm going insane. I've worked these 2 jobs, 8 hours a day per job, 5 days a week, since like 2022 when I broke up with my ex. That's a whole other story I probably won't get into, hopefully ever. But to make a long story short, with what I'm getting at here is I was a very ignorant child. I was firmly placed under the belief, because I heard the P word, potential, thrown around so much, that I thought, yeah, I'm just this like untapped ball of vibe, man. Like, I'm just gonna go out into the world and it's gonna be that. I'm not gonna lie, I had a fat fucking ego, which is not a great thing for a 17, 18-year-old kid with a high school diploma to have. So, I tried to carve my own path. I went to community college for 2 years, got an associate's degree in cybersecurity, continued to work, at that time I was working 1 job and then a part-time job. But, right around 2022, going into 2023, I really started hammering down on those 2 jobs. And I mean, that does me well. I won't complain and say that I don't make decent money, but there are plenty of people that, for the ratio of time to, what you get, I'm still on the bad side of the coin. But I should still be grateful. I live in a first world country. I have all my needs met. I'm blessed to have my grandparents still in my life that, help support me, and I try to help support them. And it's a symbiotic relationship. But at the end of the day, there comes a point, I think, in every man's life, if you're fucking conscious, where you say, it's gotta stop. Like there's too much riding on the future for you to get stuck in where you are today. So for me, I started genuinely feeling stuck about probably 6 months ago. My Instagram feed was just inundated with people that were living these grandiose lives, trips to Bali, trips to Thailand. I don't just want to be a background character in my own life. I don't need to be famous or in front of a million fucking people. But if every time I walk into a room with my family, I could just light them up, or if I just walk into a room with my friends, they're just like so excited to see me because I can bring all these things to the table to not just improve my life, but improve their lives, that's a man. In my opinion, it works like this, right? As soon as you can support yourself, you support your family. As soon as you can support your family, you start building with your friends. And by that point, you should have something that is so much larger than yourself that it could exist with or without you. That's a legacy as well. So I think about that a lot. Like, I know I'm only 23, but I'm kind of already in that headspace of like, what am I going to leave behind? Everything's too up in the air right now. Like, nobody can commit themselves to what they actually believe in because the entire world is based in fear-mongering. Don't choose the wrong degree. Don't choose the wrong job. Don't choose the wrong guy/girl. Don't choose, you get where I'm going with this? The point is that we have this, it's not even FOMO. It's something else entirely, where, the grass is greener on the other side. Then you hop the fence, and now it's greener somewhere else. Not the first place, not the second place, but some new third place. And you go there, and it's like, okay, well, no. This competition of what the fuck we're doing with our lives has to stop. There is no way I can allow myself to get sucked into that because I've worked so fucking hard already, just to stay at the bottom where I've been at. If you can get what you need to take care of your people and to live the life that you want, what is all the other shit worth? And I only realized this recently because I spent a lot of time procrastinating. What will happen is, and this applies to you guys too, is I have ADHD brain. So I'll say, hey, I want to learn how to trade crypto. Hey, I want to learn how to code this programming language. Or, hey, I want to learn how to get this certification to improve my chances of finding a remote job in IT. And instead of just tackling that one thing, start biting off more than I can chew. And it's like, okay, I'm going to give 15% effort to this thing today. I'm going to get 15% effort to this thing today, 15% effort here. And you're compartmentalizing so much different bullshit that at the end of the day, you're not retaining probably 5% of any of those things. So it's like, cut out all the bullshit, cut out the middleman. What's the one thing, this is what I try to ask myself every day, what's the one thing you can do today that would have the most improvement? If you could only have the strength to get up and do one thing today, what would that be? For me, a lot of the times lately, it's been scripting and planning out to grave detail what my life would look like if it was perfect. Steve Harvey, I watched a video with him recently in it, and he was saying how, just get a notebook and write out exactly how you want to be in business, in physical form, emotionally, mentally, financially, in grave detail. Like, spare no missing words, like just, attack it on paper first. And once it's all written out, it's gonna look like chicken scratch, schizo writing, you know what I mean? It's not gonna be organized, but it's not supposed to be organized. It's supposed to be free form, what you want. And through doing that, you can identify what are the tiny things I can do right now that will jump into the largest things. So that is what the 80%, 20% rule is in effect. 20% of the things you do will produce 80% of the results. 80% of the things you're doing right now are only giving you 20% of the results. So it's about honing in on what really is important, not just to you, but to the present moment. Because I think about the future all the time. I pray about my future. And that's not going to essentially change anything if my present moment is just spent thinking about what the future is going to be like. The future is now, technically, because imagine it's like a boat, right? The boat is the present, the wake behind the boat is the past, and then the tip of the boat, that little bit that's cutting new water, that's the immediate present giving way to the future. So that is where you exist constantly. So basically what my message here is to just focus on what you appreciate and what's going to keep you going. There's a lot of people that have told me and continue to tell me that I'm wasting my time working this much, that I'm wasting my time trying to travel the way I do, that I'm wasting my time trying to learn these applicable skills when AI is right around the corner. Only you can define for yourself if you think that that's actually going to work. So yeah, I just want to leave you with this story. I've heard it told a million different ways. Pikes in a pond, elephant ropes. But I'm going to use the fleas in a jar analogy because it involves a direct scientific study that was actually performed. So imagine, right, you have these fleas in a jar. Whole bunch of them jumping around in there, right? They're chilling in the jar, having a good time. If I take this lid off, oh shit, fleas jumping everywhere. Now you got fleas in the house, right? So obviously we got to put a lid on these fleas. All right, now they're locked in. Picture them in there jumping around. They're jumping, and what's happening? They're hitting the ceiling, right? So take the lid off again. Oh, they can jump out again. But wait, they're not jumping out. What's going on? Well, as it would turn out, the fleas adjusted. They learned, okay, if I jump too high, I'm gonna hit the ceiling. I don't wanna do that. That hurts. Let's just stop jumping that high. Now, leave the fleas in the jar, feed them, water them, whatever, but leave them in there for, let's say, 2 generations, which for a flea is like 3 days. Now, we have a whole new generation of fleas. Flea grandchildren. Awesome. Flea grandchildren, take the lid off. Want to know what the problem is? They don't even know to jump out. Like they don't even register that the lid's off. There is no lid for them because for the grandchildren fleas, they were told by Grandpappy Flea and Papa Flea and all the fleas before them, hey, you can only jump this high. So there's one other way I've heard the analogy told, which works better for some people than the whole flea jar thing. And it's called elephant ropes. So picture you have a tiny little baby elephant. You can fit him in your 2 hands. And when he's very, very young, you take the elephant and you tie a piece of twine around his nose, or his trunk, excuse me. And then you take that twine, that string, and you tie it around a stick. The elephant, when it's tiny and small, it's not gonna be able to break that stick, pull it out of the ground and run away. That is, for the time being, holding it in place. It's a constraint. As the elephant grows, though, its mind grows with its surroundings. It understands the world as it's perceiving it, So it can't determine that, oh, okay, I can break this stick now. So the elephant can be 3-4 times the size, a full-grown adult, and it will stay tied to that stick, thinking it can't break it. It amazes me, though, how many analogies for this you can find in nature. Like this was a proven thing. This is how they tame elephants. You can't really tame an elephant, so in their brains they're just being kind of manipulated into believing that they only have so much potential strength, when in reality it's like 100 times that of what they're being convinced they can use. So yeah, essentially they're making them more docile by trapping them, containing them, limiting where they can go, what they can do, and what they think. Now apply that to waking life, and you have yourself a great recipe to not only self-improve, but increase your self-awareness, because there are a lot of these flea jars and elephant ropes built into our society. And the older I get, the more I realize these things exist and how deeply they affect me and how deeply they've affected generations before me, which have led to, certain decisions being made that have costs my family, other people I know's families, lineages, greatness. Because if you don't know what you're capable of, you're never even going to try. So if you just assume that you're capable of like fucking anything, you should have unlimited drive. Sometimes I wake up and I don't want to do something, but then I think of the version of me that literally has all the things that I want already, and I hate myself a little bit less. I don't have it all figured out. I kind of explained that in the beginning of this video, I haven't put the full picture together yet, but if you want to walk alongside me, we can figure it out together. I firmly believe that nothing can change unless we do. So thank you for listening if you did. Who are we applauding right now, God?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Thank you, Jesus.